Hello listeners, today is Tuesday 28 April 2020 and it's time to reflect. Today we talk about the media and their role in our society. Then we talk a little bit about social media and the influence it has on people. As a free advice from your podcast doctor, turn off your television and seek your own knowledge. The traditional media is losing their position of influence in the world. People have much more means to get information than ever before in their history. This causes the traditional controlled media to lose its ground. People are doing research on their own. If you want to know more about the war in Syria, you go online and find all the ins and outs. Then you compare various sources and find out that the truth might be somewhere in the middle. You really don't get any structured information from watching the news on television. You don't get a clear idea on why this war is fought and why it's been such a mess in the Middle East for the last 70 years. The TV, for instance, has the concept of delivering information to you within minutes. This is a limiting factor since you can't go into great details. People are doing their own research now. This opens people's eyes, which is a good development. The people that are looking for truth, by the way, that's a good direction for civilization. These people become more conscious and aware of world events. Check out podcasts, by the way. You can listen to them whenever you have time. You can discuss a topic that is as complex as the American elections, the corona situation, or other interesting events at much longer length. You can have a full discussion with an expert and ask them all kinds of questions. And these experts have then all the time in the world to explain it, not really have to be on the clock or being bothered by the concept of the show. They can just give their opinion and they do not have to think twice about their answers because they participate in a left or a right-wing show. Think about CNN and Fox News and the way that they talk about world events, the guests and presenters they have, and how it's all put together. It's all about influencing the public with certain narratives and banning them to think a certain way. Then the term fake news. This term is thrown around like it's nothing. All of a sudden everything is fake news. Maybe the powers to be don't like the fact that people are getting more informed and calling them out on their bullshit when bullshit is brought as truth by the status quo. It's either that or the media is owned by people that have a certain agenda and want to bash certain groups of interests. Trump is at the forefront of all of this. Yes, there are journalists that can't stand him and make up ridiculous stories to blemish its image. It would be great for mankind if the media was not biased or speaking for the left or right spectrum of opinions. Just facts and independent people informing the public. But that will never happen in the near future. Not the way our society is set up. Then moving on to social media. I like the use of social media for my own productions like audio and video. This platform allows me to carry the message. When people are getting addicted to social media, then there's a problem. The constant feeling of missing out on news of your friends, your Facebook or WhatsApp groups, it actually causes stress and depression. I am in my 30s now, but I love to disconnect my phone when I'm in a restaurant, when I'm watching a movie, when I'm reading. Then when I'm done, I turn it on again. Did I miss anything? Nah, 9 out of 10 times I did not. I deleted Facebook. I have a smartphone, but it has the minimum amount of apps that constantly pop up information. It actually makes me uncomfortable when my phone constantly keeps asking for my attention. I was actually thinking of switching back to a classic phone, but there are too many applications on smartphones that are useful to me. I just avoid social media like Facebook and Twitter. Give yourself some freedom from time to time. Being connected and being online all the time is very stressful. Take a hike in the forest. Take a walk, go into nature. This will give you some rest, recharge your battery, so to speak. I mean, I love technology and gadgets, but sometimes you just need to pull the plug and liberate yourselves from these methods of communication. Trust me, it will do you some good. Research has shown us that people that have a Facebook addiction are mostly depressed and have a low self-esteem. This is caused by the stream of news from friends who only seem to post the peaks in their lives. And since people are generally comparing themselves to others, this is a perfect recipe for depression. Another fascinating thing for me is the fact that in the political arena you have two spectrums, the right and the left. People on the internet seem to take sides and read web pages, blogs and forums dedicated to this political background. This causes people to get stuck in their own information bubble. This is due to the internet. 20 years ago, when people still watched the news, this was less likely to happen, since the news would be brought with a natural political standpoint. Nowadays you cannot say that's the case anymore. It's way more politics everywhere you go. There are barely any programs that really question government policies, especially on television. For this content you really have to rely on the internet. But then again, you can't trust everything you read or hear. Construct your own opinion by checking multiple sources and then make up your own mind. The news can obviously steer you into a certain direction and imagination can do the rest. That's why I think it's important to turn off your television and do your own research. And I'm not talking about one source, no, multiple sources, and then compare sources, and then form your own informed opinion based on facts. If you do not do the research, you have no right to any opinion. And I know that's a radical standpoint, but it is what I think is the only right path. So many people repeat what they hear on the news or what their neighbor told them, and just recycle his or her opinion. Do research and then form your own opinion. And if you don't care about a subject, that's fine as well. It's a great time to be alive to gather knowledge for yourself. Never in the history it was more easier to express yourself through music, podcasts, videos and blogs. There are so many opinions out there, all of which are interesting or at least fascinating, to say the least. Just note that the traditional media always has an agenda. If you want more in-depth information, you need to seek that out for yourself. And that's alright. That was our time to reflect. Catch you guys in the next podcast. Peace.